Hello and welcome to Switch On, the show that highlights the best bits of Ipswich. On the show today, the lowdown on the new Springfield brew and the best in local music news. But first, the media is an integral part of society. While some organisations are trying to cut costs and network their content, others are continuing to provide local and relevant stories. Although they are a part of one of the biggest media organisations in the world, the Queensland Times continues to show a strong local presence here in Ipswich. How do they do it? QT editor Shannon Newley joins us to give us the scoop. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you, Annie.
So, what is currently happening at the media organisations?
Well, as you said, there's a huge amount of change and cost cutting. We're in a bit of a different landscape at the moment because online has opened up a world of news, and we've been giving it away for free for a long time, which has, I think, interrupted our revenue streams. So at the moment we're doing a lot of work around how do we get people to engage and pay for local news when they're used to getting it for free, and that's the conversations that are happening at the moment.
Oh, and who does that affect?
Really it affects everyone. So, you know, as the journalists, it impacts on how we do our day-to-day jobs. It impacts on the stories that we choose to tell and how we tell them and how we present them. So online is a very different medium to print and putting it in the paper. So it has that impact. And of course the readers, it absolutely has an impact on what stories that they're getting as well.
So how does the social media affect how we consume the news today?
I think it's really interesting. I think people are more connected with news than ever, but they're probably not getting as wide a range of news because social media has algorithms, particularly Facebook. It decides based on what you're clicking on to what it gives you, and that means that perhaps there's things that you wouldn't normally be exposed to that you're missing out on that platform. So I think that's a bit of a sticky one with social media, but it's also great because I think more people are actually getting involved in news and talking about news than ever before as well.
Yeah, and how have you used that to your advantage?
We use it heavily as a promotional tool and to engage with our audience. So for us, it's not just about here's some stories, read them, like our page and read it. It's also about having a conversation. So it's seeing what people are commenting and is there a follow-up angle that we need to follow? Do they like the stories? Do they not like the stories? And we can have that direct conversation with readers that we have never been able to have in print. We kind of had a letters to the editor section. Apart from that, you know, it's opened that world up to us really well too.
So what are the benefits of running a local media source?
We're on the ground. We understand the community. That's the big thing. You know, the journos live here, and so for us, we're not just going into a community and reporting on things that are happening. We're actually living it. We play in netball teams. We shop at the supermarket, and all the things that impact our readers and are important to us. Your big metro papers will love to come out when there's a big breaking story, when there's a scandal, you know, when the council gets sacked, for example, but they're not there day to day interacting for those really grassroots local stories.
So what do you think are the challenges that you face?
Absolutely what you said at the beginning about resources and cost cutting, and you know, we used to have big teams of journalists and we don't have as many people, but we need to do more because now we've got a website to run and it's a 24-hour-a-day website, which does mean that, you know, we have to be really careful with the kinds of stories we commit to and make sure that we're spending time on the things that people really want to read and not wasting time on others because we just don't have the time to spare.
So will there be job opportunities for future journalists?
Absolutely. Journalism isn't going anywhere. Journalism has been around forever and it will continue to be an absolutely essential part of the community in terms of telling stories that need to be told and holding people to account. So the jobs will be there, but it's what they look like. You know, is it a traditional looking journalism job like when I started, when we didn't have online and we used film cameras, we didn't even have digital cameras? No, it'll be a completely different looking job in terms of how it's presented, but the fundamentals will be there, the storytelling and the holding governments to account.
So how can people support the local media such as the Queensland Times?
So buy a digital subscription, buy a newspaper, talk to us online, let us know on Facebook what you want and interact with us and give us the information that we need to tell the stories that you want, and then buy a subscription and pay for the stories and support us in that way. And that is what will keep local journalists here in Ipswich telling the stories that are important to us that no one else is going to tell.
Oh, sounds amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Shannon.
Not a problem.
For more information and to read about what is happening in Ipswich, head over to the Queensland Times website www.qt.com.au.
The craft brewing scene is really ramping up, and there's a new kid on the block in Springfield. Ballistic Brewery has just opened up in their new Springfield location and are celebrating the opening with a new brew. We got a sneak peek a few weeks before they opened, where they gave us the lowdown on their operation and the new beer.
Ballistic came about I suppose it was originally early 2015 when Australia just won the Ashes back here, and our CEO went for a nude swim with one of our other directors around the harbour in Sydney and had a drunken idea of starting a brewery. We brew a range of craft beer at Ballistic, so we brew everything from mid-strength session ales, lagers, all the way through to barley wines and double IPAs and everything in between. I believe that beer is for everyone. We try and brew beer that is approachable and drinkable yet still full of flavour, so we want to change the idea that craft beer is just for hipsters or other beers just for old fuddy-duddy men. I think beer can be for everyone and it should be celebrated that way. For the Springfield Pilsner, we just wanted to create a beer that is unique for this part of the world, something that we thought would appeal to the local crowd and something that the locals and the community can call their own. The beer is just a really nice, clean style Pilsner, which is crisp and refreshing and just perfect for the climate in southeast Queensland. What people drink the most from our range is typically our pale ale or our dirty word craft lager, but I think the Springfield Pilsner is definitely going to be coming up and nicking their heels.
Ballistic's new Springfield location is now open and is located in the Education City precinct at Springfield Central, just next door to USQ Springfield campus. For more info, check out their Facebook page at Ballistic Springfield.
Now it's time to get the lowdown on the local music scene from Callan and Russell from Phoenix Radio's local music show Emerge.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Emerge, a show bringing you the best in Queensland music. My name is Russell Thompson. Joining me as always is Callan Lakuta. And before our last Switch On episode next week, we have prepared a little iteration of our world famous gig guide to keep you going up until then. What's happening this week, Callan?
First up, on Wednesday the 13th and Thursday the 14th, UK indie rock band Gomez are celebrating the 20th anniversary of their 1999 classic album Liquid Skin, with 2 shows at the Tivoli. Doors are at 7:30 and tickets are still available for the Wednesday night show for $82.50.
Save up your pennies for that. On Thursday the 14th of November, Hope D is playing at the Foundry, supported by Sid's Balcony and Lucy Francesca Don. Doors are at 7:30, tickets are $15 online and $20 at the door.
Great lineup.
Yeah.
On Friday the 15th of November is this year's iteration of R&B Fridays at the Brisbane R&A Showgrounds. Performing acts include Janet Jackson,
Queen,
the Black Eyed Peas,
Best Band,
50 Cent,
Curtis Stone,
Jason
Derulo,
and Fat Man Scoop.
Fat Man Scoop 2010. Great lineup.
Amongst many others, general admission starts at $150 and it kicks off at 3:30 p.m. and we'll certainly see you there.
We'll definitely see you there. Also on Friday the 15th, Montaigne is bringing her Complex album tour to the Zoo with support acts from Miss Blanks and Stevie Jane. Doors at 7 p.m. Tickets are $47 with $1 of each ticket sale going to an NGO, Bush Heritage Australia. Montaigne is also playing a show on the Sunshine Coast at Soul Bar on Thursday the 14th of November with $41 tickets.
And on Saturday the 16th of November, the Children's Hospital Telethon is taking place at the Fortitude Valley Music Hall with headlining act Icehouse, joined by Geronimo, Shepherd and Ark. The event kicks off at 5 p.m. and tickets are $69.
On that same Saturday the 16th, 4X presents Live at the Brewery with Holy Holy, Confidence Man, Custard, Mild Life, Good Boy, Nice Biscuit and First Page. The event will be the first time in 26 years that the iconic Queensland Brewery will be opening its doors. Kicking off midday, tickets are $80.
And also on Saturday the 16th and on Sunday the 17th, Schema Festival will be bringing a huge lineup of 20 acts to the Valley Drive-In, Brightside and the Zoo, where an under-18s event will be taking place until 5 p.m. and then an over-18s show right after. To see the full lineup, including Ella Vice, Venice on Fire, and Tokyo Twilight, check out theschemercollective.org, and tickets are available from $58.
Awesome lineup for that one. As a selection of gigs throughout the next week, make sure you check out our final Switch On episode as well next week, where we'll be talking about some of our favourite acts, venues and releases of the year. Until next time, bye.
That's all the time we have for today. If you have any stories you would like to share with us, send them over using the hashtag SwitchOnStories or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter at SwitchOnStories. Be sure to tune in next week for our final episode. But for now, I'm Annie Petts and you've been switched on.